This is the Juggle prototype. This may look a little different than your normal calendar, but there's a reason for it. Like most other scheduling systems, Juggle breaks out workers and time. However, Juggle does this a little differently by utilizing time blocks. This timetable reduces the chances of overloading a particular employee at a particular time. The work events can be spread out along the time periods or across other workers. Also, like other scheduling systems, the event's size describes the event's duration. Event coloring is an important aspect of the system. By seeing the type of work involved in an event, users can associate those work types in their decision-making process. The ribbon on the right gives users the details they need to complete the event. While this is useful during an appointment, these details do not need to be read when organizing the schedule. I'll show you that in a moment. In addition, when an event is allocated to a worker, a time pad is appended to the appointment. In this case, the padding is tied to the worker's mode of transportation, but there are several other uses for such a feature. Juggle's padding is a core feature because it is important to recognize that it takes time to transition from one appointment to another. Another core feature is the inclusion of the hopper. While team leads or supervisors may find this useful to ensure that appointments don't fall through the cracks, giving this visibility to workers allows workers to acquire more work or return work for another team member to acquire if they are unable to tend to it. This lays the foundation for your team to organize itself. We have plans to add many layers of depth to this feature. Also, if you will notice, a worker's availability is already laid into the sheet, minimizing the mistakes of misallocating events while the worker is on break or otherwise off shift. So what if your team has multiple events for the same client in a day? Shouldn't that be obvious? In some industries, like mobile pet care in this example, a worker may return several times in a day to take care of the animals. Ensuring that there isn't an overlap or that one isn't skipped would be monumentally important given that the client paid for specific services. So the day has started and your team needs to get organized. Juggle displays where events can be arranged based on that event's window of opportunity or the time range in which clients want the work completed. The time blocks that light up yellow are acceptable. Attempting to place an event in an unacceptable area displays the reason for that restriction. In addition to time, supervisors can also apply other restrictions by applying attributes to the employees, as well as clients and their associated events. That way, only workers with attributes that match those of the client or the event can take the work they are skilled for. With these features, at the very least, it is possible for a supervisor to manage the changing day quickly and effectively. When these features are open to the working team, events can become self-managed in a way never before available. But there is certainly more that is possible through Juggle's scheduler. In other systems, the worker is limited to completing one event at a time. That's not how the real world works anymore. With event stacking, supervisors can combine several appointments into a single event for a worker to complete, multiplying that worker's productivity. Like with the attributes mentioned earlier, the system has ways of ensuring that only the right work can be converted into a stack event. There is far more planned than what you see in our prototype. We have designs and concepts that will likely take us years to implement while we continue to refine this design.